Hello, Bills Mafia. This is Bryce Vega here coming to you again on another Buffalo Bills loss. Oh boy, 6 losses for the year. They have actually managed to double the amount of losses they got last year during the regular season, which is pretty sad considering that most people thought that this was a better team than the 2020 team. And on top of all that, the 2021 schedule for the Buffalo Bills was way easier, considering that you were taking on the pathetic NFC South and AFC South this year. And last year, you have to go through the gauntlet of taking on the AFC and NFC West, potentially some of the best divisions in football. So, Buffalo Bills lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They flew down to Florida to visit Daddy, who got a divorce from the Patriots last year. And they saw Daddy go to work on them. And boy, did Tom Brady love shitting on the Bills. So did Gronkowski. Fuck them. Fuck both of them. And this might be the last time we ever see them again. And I hope so. I can't take it anymore. I mean, even if the Bills somehow make it to the Super Bowl and they see the Buccaneers there, oof. I don't even want to go there. I would rather the Bills not even have that opportunity, because the possibility of Brady beating the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl, oh my God, Western New York would be lit on fire. The whole the whole area would burn down. No, we can't risk it. Western New York is far too much of a wonderful place for us to risk Tom Brady embarrassing us one more time. I just hope that this was the last time. So, after the game with the Buccaneers, which the Bills lost in overtime 33-27, I was reminded of some of the words that Josh Allen had to say at the end of the postseason last year, I guess it was this year, but after the Kansas City AFC Championship loss. And somebody had asked him, and it might have been right afterwards or it might have been the next day, I can't recall, but I vividly remember somebody from the Buffalo media asking him, what did you prove this season? And he came in second in MVP voting. He lit it up. He took a massive jump, an unprecedented jump. And Josh Allen looked like an elite quarterback during the 2020 regular season, and I thought he looked great during the postseason as well, despite what some of his detractors may want to say about that. Anyway, Josh Allen, in response to the question, what did you prove this season, was, I proved that I wasn't a mistake. And that response at the time really kind of endeared me more to him than I already was. I kind of broke my heart a little bit, because you could tell that the kid lived with a lot of insecurities about his draft status, about everything that was said about him, and that all that nonsense that he says on press conferences about him not listening to the media, him just hunkering down and moving forward, it's a lot of it's bullshit. It's stuff that McDermott tells him to say to the media. And Josh Allen is aware that he was on thin ice for the longest time, and that he was considered a bust from the get-go, a laughingstock even. The Bills were ridiculed for taking him 7th overall, for giving up all those assets to get him. Josh Allen, with all that on his shoulders, still took a massive leap in skill, confident, poise, anything that you need on a quarterback, leadership, and willed the team to the AFC Championship. And part of the reason why he was able to do that is nobody expected him to be that good. He had a miserable rookie season. He had an okay 2019 season. I'll defend them till the day I die. But at the end of the day, it still looked like he was... I think the consensus was that out of the quarterbacks taken on the first round of his rookie year, that the only one worse than him was Josh Rosen. And he's proved that he's actually the best quarterback. I don't care that Lamar Jackson has an MVP. He's better than Lamar Jackson. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's better than Sam Darnold. And he's definitely better than Josh Rosen. There's no question about that. Now, who should be credited for the impact or the improvement that Josh Allen had? Certainly Josh Allen should have the lion's share of credit for his improvement. But the Buffalo Bills as an organization should also share in the credit for his development and his improvement. Because Sean McDermott and his coaching staff and Brandon Beane and the front office did show faith in him and did show patience with him. There's this interview, I think this was during the pandemic. Brandon Beane did an interview with Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee asked him, "Hey, well, you're a Carolina guy. Why don't you give Cam Newton a shot? I mean, he's in the market. Come on." And Brandon Beane flat out said, this is before his Josh Allen's breakout season in 2020. It's like, I'm not going to do that. We believe in Josh, and we're going to put our money where our mouth is and support him. And what did they do? They got him Stephon Diggs. So the Buffalo Bills, as an organization, share in the credit for his development. How much? That's up for debate. If you ask me, to be honest with you, I think the Buffalo Bills maybe get 20-30% credit for his development. Because the Buffalo Bills did not do him any favors on his rookie season. And they did not give him much help in 2019 either. They only showed him patience, which is what most quarterbacks don't get anyway. But let's not pretend that Josh Allen came into this league on a loaded roster. Like Justin Herbert. No shot at Justin Herbert. But he has talent all throughout that offense with the LA Chargers. Anyway, I've gone 9 minutes talking about Josh Allen instead of talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers loss that the Bills just suffered. Why did I go on this rant? Well, the Buffalo Bills just wasted Josh Allen's incredible performance to try to will this team to victory. And part of me, after seeing that loss, thought, man, the Bills kind of don't deserve Josh Allen sometimes. And I know that that's an unfair statement for me to think as a fan. It really is, because they they should share in some of the credit for developing him for who he is as a quarterback. But man, I mean, that first half, it was awful, awful to watch. That was to see Tom Brady just have his way with the Buffalo Bills defense and the offensive play calling be pathetic and the red zone offense be anemic and Sean McDermott making stupid, questionable decisions. I don't need any more evidence. I am convinced that the Buffalo Bills' offensive struggles are not on Josh Allen. The debate is over as far as I'm concerned. Most of it is on coaching, however you want to allocate that between the different position coaches and the offensive coordinator and Sean McDermott as head coach. And a lot of it also has to do with the offensive line being pretty mediocre to bad. During that first half, Josh Allen had almost no time to throw. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, oh my God, he could write a novel. He could retell Man in the Arena with the time that the pathetic Buffalo Bills defensive line was giving him. I know that the Buffalo Bills came back on the second half and made it a game. And that it got pretty exciting and that I got my hope up a little bit. And that the Bills did show fight in them. And that was good to see. It was good to see fight. After we saw them come out lifeless week 1 against the Steelers. After, they just laid down and died against the Jacksonville Jaguars. A little bit more on that later. After they got punched in the mouth by the Indianapolis Colts. And they just we don't know what to do. And after just getting it run down their throats against the New England Patriots, it was good to see them try to make it back. But guess what? Here's the Buffalo Bills 2021 record on one-score games, 0-5. This team is soft. That's a terrible thing to say. Can I do anything on a football field as a player? Hell no. Oh my God. So it's, as a fan, for me to sit here and say these football players that are earning millions of dollars in NFL contracts are soft. It's pretty ludicrous. It's ludicrous when you see it on Twitter. It's ludicrous when Tyler Dune comes out with an article calling them soft. Because in the larger scheme of things, these are tough individuals. But when it comes to the NFL, and you just use that as a sample size, yeah, this is a soft team. And I don't know where that source is. Just went to Tampa Bay and did nothing for 30 minutes of football. And then come out in the second half and they looked just as bad. And it wasn't because Josh Allen just put the whole freaking team on his back. This really should have been a blowout. Part of me as a fan wanted this to be a blowout because I'm starting to become really resentful towards the coaches and Sean McDermott in particular. Several weeks ago, I started making videos just trash talking Sean McDermott after the Colts loss because I just had it. I just had it with him. Years of not liking him, of like begrudgingly being like, well, he's a good coach. He's the best coach we've had, but I don't really feel like he is going to take us anywhere. Did anybody see that Browns-Ravens game? Lamar Jackson goes out. Their quarterback. And somehow, with Tyler Huntley, who I don't know if he was even drafted. He was either drafted. He went either undrafted or he was drafted like in the 7th round. I don't know. I don't have the information in front of me. But he went out with Tyler Huntley and made it a game. They lost by 2. Why? Harbaugh is a great coach. I don't know if Sean McDermott's like Harbaugh. I don't know if Sean McDermott's like Tomlin, as much as I criticize Tomlin for playing down to competition. I don't know if Sean McDermott is like Andy Reid, these Super Bowl winning head coaches who have it in them to pull out to snatch a win from the jaws of defeat. I'm tired of him just trusting his defense to get something done and not trusting his offense. Which is weird to say because at the same as I say that he shouldn't trust his defense and should trust his offense when the offense has been dealing with awful play calling as of late and awful execution as of late. But man, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. That Buffalo Bills defense is not as good as the stats say. It's just it just isn't. They were lucky enough to beat up on some really shitty teams and shut out 2 shitty teams in the Dolphins and the Texans, and that really inflated their stats. Other than Tre'Davious White, who's a superstar in the Buffalo Bills defense, let me tell you, no one. Love Micah Hyde. Love Jordan Poyer. Excellent players. Should be all pros. Should be pro bowlers. But that's the thing. Nobody ever says Jordan Poyer by himself or Micah Hyde by himself. It's Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Why? They come as a package duo. I don't know if you take one from the other, if they're as good as they are. I mean, it's not like it's not like they're Hall of Fame safeties. Like, in my opinion, Earl Thomas during his prime. Tremaine Edmonds. Is he a superstar? I love him. I think the coaching staff does him no favors with how they play him, how they refuse to blitz him. Mind you, there was I did see at least one blitz this game, but they should be blitzing him way more. Ed Oliver, I don't think this coaching staff does him any favors either. And the team's utter negligence in developing a true backup one tech behind Star Lotulelei really shows that they're screwing over Ed Oliver. What to do as a fan of this frustrating, inconsistent team? I have no expectations left for them. And I just think that's the healthy outlook to have moving forward. If they make the playoffs, part of me feels like, don't make the playoffs. Get a better draft pick. You're not going to make any noise. Are you not as a wild card because you're not winning? Guess what? Bills Mafia. I hate to say it. Buffalo Bills, They ain't winning the division. Sorry, Bills Mafia. The one year in this long suffering fan base's history post drought, post Jim Kelly, that the Buffalo Bills were supposed to get a home playoff game and that they were going to have at least 2 home playoff games. COVID prevented the stadium from being filled as it should have been. They're not getting home field advantage this year. They're just not. And with coward decisions from Sean McDermott to run a fake punt instead of trusting your offense, or to punt the ball within the 40-yard line when there's 2 minutes left in the third quarter and you're running out of possessions. From 4th and 2, by the way. What, were you expecting somebody to score a defensive touchdown? Does Sean McDermott know that you don't get bonus points for getting the other team to punt the ball? That you scored, you put points on the board with touchdowns and field goals, not by playing, usually not by playing defense unless you get a pick six or safety. What are the chances you're getting a safety? No. Virtually impossible. What are the chances you're getting a pick six? Maybe. Not with these cornerbacks. Not with these slow safeties. No offense to Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Love them. They're great. But they're not threatening anybody with their speed. I mean, again, love you, Micah Hyde, but Leonard Fournette did burn you for that long run. And I'm pretty sure it was Micah Hyde who also got burned on that long run from the Patriots last week. Oh. What are the Bills going to do moving forward? Hopefully change. Because this is not working. And I don't know what they can do to make it work. Obviously, I don't. I'm just a fan who feels obligated to watch this. What's Tom Brady's record now against the Buffalo Bills? 33-3? Oh. I feel like that's going to be like etched on my soul till the day I die. And I just hope that this pain is not something that's inherited for future Bills Mafia fans, Buffalo Bills fans out there. I hope if my grandchildren are Buffalo Bills fans that they will know the name Tom Brady, but they won't feel the pain of the Buffalo Bills having lost to him in pathetic ways for so many years. And for him to have this franchise record against us, this win record against us, oh, why didn't anybody throw him a dildo? Surely there were enough Bills fans out there to throw a dildo at Tom Brady from the Buccaneers stadiums. The Buccaneers stands. Who do they have left? Carolina. The Patriots again. The Falcons and the Jets. As a fan, let me tell you that the only win that I feel confident in predicting is against the Jets. That's it. Could lose to Carolina. Definitely could lose to the Patriots. Already did. And they didn't even throw the fucking ball. could lose to the Falcons as they got Cordell Patterson. And they can lose to... Oh, no, wait, no. Yeah, those are the three that I don't see this team going on a run. They could easily finish up 11-6, win out. They could also end with a sub 500 record. Till you get to 9 wins, which means you gotta get 2 more. You could end up under 500. And who's to blame there? Is it coaching? Or is it the players? Is it the front office? I'll be honest. I've seen a lot of hot takes on Twitter today. I'm not there yet. I don't feel like the front office has yet to be should be blamed for anything yet. They've whiffed on some players. Cody Ford is not looking great. The running backs have been pretty bad. Devin Singletary, love you, man. You're doing great as an RB2. Problem is, there's no RB1. Zach Moss, I hope I don't see you again in a Bills jersey. I'm glad you were inactive. This Buffalo Bills offensive line has enough troubles without you running into the back of them. So I really don't want to see Zach Moss on the field ever again. If he's going to hurt one of the offensive linemen and somehow we find ourselves having to trot out one of the backups. And if the backups were bad enough that they didn't make up this pathetic starting lineup, I mean, how bad are they? I'm just angry. I'm disappointed. This is not the season that we expected. And it's not like Buffalo Bills fans should have had many expectations that the Buffalo Bills could beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I know that they made it a game. But I can't underscore how demoralizing that first half was. And some of the offensive highlights that the Buffalo Bills were able to get in the second half, if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, I mean, I only watched the game a couple of hours ago, came on broken plays, on Josh Allen runs that were not design runs, on passes that he was flushed out of the pocket and he threw a dime to somebody who caught it for a first down. It's almost like, to hell with the playbook, Josh Allen's just going to put the team on his back. And he did. And guess what? I can sit here till the end of time and say Josh Allen put the team on his back and the Buffalo Bills wasted what he did. But at the same time, the Bills did hold the Buccaneers to a field goal all second half. So the Bills defense did contribute by holding them to 3 points. However, I think it's important to recognize something that's been irking me about Sean McDermott's defense. That I just want him to adopt another philosophy. I want him to look at Todd Bowles and say, hey, let's do some of that. I like what you're doing. And this whole bend but don't break, it's got to go. It's to anybody that doesn't know, bend but don't break. It's a shitty philosophy on defense that has come about because Roger Goodell hates defense, and he has legislated into the NFL rulebook that offense is king and that the NFL makes more money when big points are being, put on the scoreboard. So we're going to make everything easier for the offense and people can't play defense. So in recognition of that, what teams that adopt a bend but don't break philosophy do is we're going to play kind of soft between the 20s, between your 20-yard line and our 20-yard line. But the moment that you get into the red zone, we'll get real tired up and be real aggressive and hold you to field goals. And in theory, you think about that and say, hey, that's reasonable. The rules are stacked against defense. And if an offense only comes away with 3 points as opposed to 7 or 8, that should be a win. Well, here's the problem. Bend but don't break also means that, sure, you only gave up a field goal, but man, if you're behind, like the Buffalo Bills were today, by a lot, guess what? You need that ball now. You need it on your offense's hand so that they can score points. Otherwise, you're just playing around. You're just sticking around. Being like, okay, Tom Brady, pad your stats. Throw a dump pass here. Throw a dump pass there. Make Gronk look good. Oh, kill us with 1,000 paper cuts, and what do you know? We held you to a field goal, and you only took 7 minutes off the clock. Oh shit, that's half a quarter. What the fuck? So the bend but don't break. That's nice and all if you have a lead, Sean McDermott. If you don't have a lead, you need to be aggressive on defense. Otherwise, you're not giving yourself much opportunity to get the ball back. I'm starting to really question his time management. It's really bad. It's like the one thing I think he got from Andy Reid. Bad time management. Sure as hell didn't get creative offensive play calling from him. The process is over. Sean McDermott has been with the Buffalo Bills for 5 years. Yes. He has taken the Bills to the playoffs on 2017, little fluky, whatever. On 2019, which, he did get the 5th seed. It's not like 2019 where a little bit of miracles needed to happen for us to get the 6th seed. And he had secured it with at least a couple games left on the... Sorry, he hadn't secured the 5th seed with a couple games left. He had secured a playoff spot. Whether the Bills were going to be a 5th or 6th seed depended on the rest of the schedule. But anyway, and then the Buffalo Bills under him secured the 2nd seed in the 2020 season. But the process is over. It's time to win now. Stop drafting developmental projects. Get ready, guys, now. Stop with the whole culture thing. You've already developed a good culture. Do you have no room in your football team for outstanding personalities? Do you have no room in your football team for people who might be a little bit flashy? No, you just want Boy Scouts, people who will nod and shake their head, people who will regurgitate the same bullshit day in and day out on press conferences. Hey, Sean, why are you so hostile to the Buffalo Bills media? I know that Jerry Sullivan is out there being a dick, but for the most part, Buffalo Bills beat reporters, they kind of like the Bills. They're not hostile. They're not New York City reporters. They're not hostile jackasses working from the Boston media. Some of these beat reporters are fans. Why? I mean, not to sound offensive to Western New York, a place that I love, but who wants to work there? Fans. People who are passionate. You know, what do? You just treat fans and treat the media with a little bit of hostility. I don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs. And if they do, I don't think it'll be on the higher end of the wild card. I think it'll be on the lower end. Which means that if New England somehow secures the first round bye, the Buffalo Bills might go and play the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're getting red hot right now. I don't remember what the score was on the game against the Raiders, but I think they shut them out and scored like 50 points or something. Hey, Bills, did you see that? How the Chiefs are playing right now? It's like you're playing a different sport. At this point, I'm just rambling. Just a sad, angry fan. And I'm not alone. On Twitter today, much to my surprise, a certain topic was trending, and it was Fire McDermott. Boy, that shocked me. As much as I say that I don't like him, I really don't. I don't want him fired. The only way I would consider wanting McDermott fired is if by some miracle somebody else became available. Harbaugh, I don't know, Bruce Arians. Oh, I'd take him. But that old man doesn't want to leave Florida. It's too cold up in Buffalo. So, Bills fans, I hear you. I'm also angry. I've been angry at Sean McDermott for weeks. I've not liked him for years. But don't call for his job. It's not like you have a vote on it anyway. He's the best coach the Bills have had in decades, almost. My God. But at least for today and for some other coward decisions, the Doug Marrone comparisons were very apt. What to do? Nothing but pray, hope, maybe. I don't know. They should get it together. $33-3 against the Buffalo Bills. this Buffalo Bills team, you gotta love them, right? They give you hope, but you still show up and you still support them. I mean, in the broadcast, I did see a lot of Bills Mafia in the stands. And that's the stadium of the reigning Super Bowl champions. I did hear a lot of Buffalo Bills yelling when the Buccaneers were on offense. It was pretty noticeable on the broadcast. So you were there. You were helping your team, Bills Mafia. Good for you. You're the best fan base in the world. And we embrace and love Josh Allen. And we love and embrace his team. And we love and embrace each other. And we hope that this team will one day reach the promised land and win its first franchise Super Bowl. Sadly to say, I don't think it's this year. As many Cubs fans said for 100 years or more, maybe next year.